the Malhar rift in Mahayuti as well. Maharashtra Minister Nitish Rane's backing of the Malhar certification, a platform to certify Jhatka mutton shops run exclusively by members of the Hindu community, has triggered sharp reactions. Whilst Muslim lawmakers have strongly opposed it, even Rane's allies from the Ajit Pawar-led NCP have distanced themselves from the idea. Now, on the 10th of March, Maharashtra's Fisheries and Port Development Minister, he launched the Malhar certification for Hindu meat traders, arguing that it would ensure access to rightful mutton shops with a 100% Hindu community and no adulteration. Now, what is the Malhar certification? Quickly, Malhar certification is an initiative by Minister Nitish Rane aimed at unifying Hindu meat traders. The campaign ensures that goat and sheep meat prepared as per Hindu religious customs, it remains fresh and clean, it remains free from saliva contamination, it remains not mixed with other animal meat, and it also guarantees that only Hindu Khatik community traders will be allowed to sell under this certification. Now, the official Malhar website, it claims that sellers must follow strict Hindu religious practices in the meat preparation. And Nitish Rane justifies the move, stating, and I quote, take a look at this. He says, workers following Hindutva ideology have come together to provide an alternative to halal mutton for the Hindu society. For years, only halal mutton has been forced upon us. Either eat halal or have no alternative. Eating halal is part of Islam, not Hinduism. I unquote. Now, there has been political fallout over the same issue. You've got opposition leaders that have slammed Nitish Rane's statement, calling it divisive and unconstitutional. Take a listen at what some of the opposition leaders are saying at this point in time.
देखो, एक मंत्री इस तरह की बात नहीं कर सकते। जब वो वोट लेते हैं उस समय में जो बातें वो बोलते हैं उसी आधार पर मंत्रियों ने चलना चाहिए। लेकिन मंत्री अगर इस तरह से बाहर बातें कर रहे होंगे, ट्वीट कर रहे होंगे, तो मुख्यमंत्री ने कंट्रोल खो चुके हैं मंत्रियों के ऊपर का, इस तरह का मैसेज जाता है।
Even Nitish Rane's own allies from the Ajit Pawar faction of the NCP have distanced themselves from the initiative. We got MLC Amol Mitkari dismissed the move, stating, what can I say about Nitish Rane? He has become a senior minister now. His statements reflect his own personal opinion. Our ideology is rooted in the principles of Shahu, Phule and Ambedkar, and we will continue to uphold those particular sentiments. Now, the debate over Jhatka versus Halal has intensified. Congress Deputy Leader Amin Patel also weighed in, preferring halal mutton over Jhatka, calling it more hygienic. And in a light moment, he even quipped, yesterday, Nitish Rane was eating mutton. I will ask him in the assembly, which mutton did he have? But hey, let's also ask whether there is logic and reasoning in this initiative. Is it flawed at its core is another question that people have asked. I mean, it excludes non-Hindu butchers unfairly, violates right to equal trade. There is no proof of consumer demand for Jhatka only meat, forces religious identity on businesses, it encourages state-sanctioned economic discrimination, politicizes food, hurts social harmony and sets a dangerous legal precedent, which is why these are the big questions we're trying to decode tonight. Does Malhar certification unfairly exclude non-Hindu butchers? Does it violate the right to equal trade in India? Does it force religious identity on businesses? And is this state-sanctioned economic discrimination? Does it set a dangerous legal precedent? Is there real consumer demand for Jhatka only meat? Joining me here on the broadcast are my panelists for this particular segment. Savio, Editor-in-Chief, Goa Chronicle. We've got Advocate Nikhil Jain, Political Analyst, Professor K.G. Suresh, Senior Journalist. A very warm welcome to all three of you. Always a pleasure to have you with us on the broadcast. Savio, I'm going to quickly come to you and get this ball rolling. The certification has, needless to say, triggered this political storm. But while one argues that it provides an alternative for Hindus, for halal, critics say it institutionalizes religious segregation in trade. How does one justify this move under the secular India framework?
Well, the mere fact, Kabir, that it was institutionalized when we accepted halal in India is also going to is something that nobody has discussed that before, because halal is considered to be a global norm, and therefore countries, especially in Islamic countries and non-Islamic countries, to be accommodating with our Muslim sisters and brothers have accepted the use of halal as meat. Now, in the Indian context, there are several people within the Hindu community who do not accept that the process of halal, and therefore, if the Hindu community thinks that their consideration is towards Jhatka and Mr. Rane himself has decided to take a step in that direction. I don't see where the conflict is. The conflict becomes is when you want to make it a conflict. Why were people not raising the issue when halal was so dominant in India? Why should a non-Muslim procure the product in a halal certified manner rather than having it in something that they prefer, which is Jhatka? And that is where it's a non-issue to me, if you really ask me, because I think at the end of the day, coloring it in this communal fashion is something that the opposition is doing, because you have halal and people have respected it, people have accepted it, and people have allowed it. Now, if there is a certain community of people within the Hindu community that prefer to have their meat, and the process of the procurement of that meat in a particular way, which they think is something that is acceptable to them, I don't see a problem in that at all.
Okay.
I think there is a deliberate attempt to turn it into a communal issue so that Hindus and Muslims within them fight. If today a Muslim, because of his beliefs, goes and buys halal meat, that is up to him. Today, if a Hindu wants to take it via the Jhatka, that is up to him, right? And if a Christian wants to take it in both, he can buy half kilo in halal and another half kilo in Jhatka.